Yo, welcome back to Yo Nerd, the podcast where we talk about nerd culture news, share our opinions, and debate on pretty much anything. I'm Jace.
I'm Zion.
I'm Noah.
All right, y'all. Daredevil Born Again came out, and all three of us, we're pretty big Daredevil fans. I know especially Zion, he loves Daredevil. But the new series came out on Disney Plus, so we're just going to do a quick recap of the first 2 episodes. Spoilers ahead. If you haven't seen it, go watch it and come back. And real quick, guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, please leave a like, comment, please subscribe to our channel. It helps us out a lot. And follow us on our socials, Instagram, TikTok, leave a likes on there too. But without further ado, let's get right into it.
All right, so we have watched the first 2 episodes of Daredevil Born Again. The whole Daredevil situation, I'm sure if you're watching this video, you already know. But this is a reboot, essentially, of the Netflix show. Last season came out in October 2018. So it's been about 6 years since we've seen Daredevil in this capacity. Obviously, there's been little moments of Daredevil and Kingpin in the MCU. But this is essentially Daredevil's full debut into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So we have episodes 1 and 2. That released Heaven's Half Hour and Optics.
Wait, before we get started, did you guys like Daredevil, the Netflix show, as a whole? Or was there anything that you didn't like?
I mean, well,
like, unpopular opinion for me, I did not like season 2. Okay. I'm just gonna. I didn't. Really
I actually thought season 3 was overrated a lot.
That's interesting.
It was good,
I thought
but people like say it clears all the other seasons. I think season 1's clearly the best.
Nah, I think season 1 is the best too.
No, season 1 by far is like, honestly, just I think the best Marvel television that we've gotten. Season 1 of Daredevil, potentially.
That's
live
a
action.
lot.
Live action,
like better than like Loki.
Potentially, yeah. I think so.
It's up there.
It's up there for sure.
I would say season 1, season 3, season 2.
Probably, yeah.
I agree. Season 2.
I liked aspects. It takes a huge jump to where it's like Daredevil in New York dealing with, gangs and criminals and things like that, to like ancient ninjas and all this stuff.
Exactly.
I love the Punisher stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
For me that one episode where Daredevil and Punisher are talking on the rooftop, that'll forever be one of my favorite superhero moments ever. That was just fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall season 2 wasn't the best. Yeah.
Nah.
So leading out of that, obviously different creative team. We have the same cast, but it's a tricky situation with this show because it's the same actors, people, but there's been a lot of behind the scenes stuff over the course of this show being made. Originally, this show was going to be completely different from the Netflix show. It wasn't even going to be in the same continuity. They were just kind of throwing all that away. Fans spoke, and now the history of that show is still present here. But again, there's some changes, so we'll get into that right now. The show starts off very similarly to how the Netflix show was. We have our main trio, Karen, Foggy, and Matt. They go to their usual bar, Josie's, and pretty quickly they let you know this ain't the same show because Bullseye pulls up with a horrible costume, but that's another note.
Yeah.
When they had the close-up shot of him just pulling his mask out, I was like, yo, what is that?
It's not even a mask,
it's like a
bro.
beanie.
It's not even a mask. It's like a it might as well be a t-shirt you just threw over his head.
But Bullseye pulls up and unalives Foggy just right in the street. Matt becomes so angry at the loss of his friend, understandably, that he then tries to unalive Bullseye and literally just pushes him off of a building. So Matt crosses a line as Daredevil that he never wants to cross. And so we jump a year and Matt feels like he's not worthy to be a vigilante anymore. He's not worthy to be Daredevil. He's at a new law firm. There's kind of a new supporting cast around him. Him and Karen have have parted ways following Foggy's death. We also have Wilson Fisk returning. He becomes the mayor of New York, and despite some marriage issues with Vanessa, he's doing the mayoral thing while she focuses on the criminal empire that they run. Matt and Fisk meet up, and they agree that as long as Matt is not Daredevil and Fisk stays clean, essentially, they won't have any issues with each other. Obviously, we know that's not going to happen. Matt picks up a new client. His name is Hector Ayala, aka the White Tiger, who, in trying to save someone's life, ends up accidentally unaliving a police officer. And so he gets thrown in jail. He's labeled as a cop killer.
Yeah, that was tough.
So Matt is representing him, trying to, he knows he's innocent. Fisk and Vanessa end up going to marriage counseling with Matt's new girlfriend, a therapist. And then Matt saves a key witness in an investigation from being killed by the same cops that got tangled up with the White Tiger. And then the episode ends with a brutal fight and Fisk gaining some more political allies through blackmail and deception. So a lot was packed into these episodes. It was a lot, but I think there's one thing we got to start off with.
Bro, Foggy.
Dude.
Man, that it was so. They gave us like 10 minutes before they did that.
Like it was 10, bro.
What made me so mad was that he had multiple warnings. Who was on the phone with him again?
Benny.
Who was it that was on the phone?
I don't even know.
Oh yeah, whoever it was, Benny was like, "They're coming for you," and he was like, just not doing anything. And then
I don't think he could hear. I think it was breaking up.
If we
Matt
could hear, though,
whatever it was,
because Matt was there.
That's
Matt
fair.
heard him.
That's fair.
Well, he thought, because I thought Foggy thought that Benny was in trouble at his house.
Bullseye went there, got the information, and head straight to or Foggy.
That's insane, man.
Yeah,
he got pulled up on quick.
That was tough to see. That was really tough. I was really looking forward to returning to the familiar dynamic. I get that they want to switch things up. I'm cool with that. If you want to try new things, switch stuff up. But I would have appreciated a little more time. I understand why they did it. The story, I don't think the story that they're trying to tell works with Foggy in the picture. But even still, it was just tough that it happened so quick. After all this time, after the whole campaign to save Daredevil, within 5 minutes, Foggy is gone.
Just gone, man.
Crazy.
Gone. And another thing, because obviously Matt pushed Bullseye off the building, but he didn't die. Bullseye didn't even die. So isn't Matt's whole thing, like, if they don't die, like, it's all good? Why did he still hang it up? Do you think it was the intent or what?
I think it was more of like that Foggy died. That first of all rocks him to the core. Like that messed him up, and just him being like, "What am I even doing here? Like, am I even doing good?" Like his best friends are dying. He wasn't like nothing was really changing for New York. Bullseye still running around killing people like that. He was like, might as well just hang it up at this point.
Brutal, dude. By the way, Daredevil just
for no
anyone
reason.
In the vicinity.
Yeah, for real. Anybody that was there just gone. Like those poor people in that apartment or whatever.
No, that's that guy's fault. Man stood there, said, "Call the cops," and didn't run away.
Speaking of the apartment scene, the action, obviously they're doing like their one-way like hallway or one-take hallway scene fights. I don't know if it feels the same as the original Netflix show. It feels a little different to me. I don't know if it's that way to you guys, but
for me it's very different. And I want to be fair to the show. I don't want to fall into the trap of comparing it too much. Cuz I get they're doing something new, and this is also in the MCU now. There's some notable changes to where I don't want to always be like, but they did this in the original show. Like, you got to change and evolve over time. So I don't want to compare it too much, but I think with this being our first look into the new Daredevil, that initial scene, funnily enough, the opening at Josie's, the whole fight with Bullseye, it was weird for me visually. Visually, it looked off. I hated. I'm just gonna say this is the one part I hated when he suits up as Daredevil, and you see the shot of him like on the roof, and he's running. I don't know why the CGI looked so bad during that whole sequence.
I didn't even notice.
It might have been just me. It felt weird, and I was also it was late, and I was watching it on my phone, so that might have been why. That might have been why. So I'll go back and rewatch.
Watch it on a TV because we differ a lot. This first 15 minutes of the show is like some of my favorite MCU content of all time. I loved it. It was like the peak of what Daredevil has been, and all packed into like 15 minutes.
It was like a not like out of body experience, but it was weird, just like the vibe that were going on. Because obviously you have that aspect of the show where Matt's hearing different things that are going on right in front of him. That. But they did a really good job with that, and also like the music that was being played. It was like an eerie sort of vibe. And I think they did that really well, I will say.
The whole show has done a great job portraying his hearing ability. That's always cool. For sure. Yeah. But I'm always like, it's so weird for the people around him. Like, he'll be in conversation and just...
and they'll literally like be asking him a question, and then it just doesn't reply at all. And then they just go with it. They're like, okay, yeah, let's go over here where this dude is talking on the phone. I'm like, okay.
So funny. I'd say it was similar to the Netflix show, that opening. The rest of the show has been a mix to me of the old vibe and some new. So like his new law firm reads a lot to me like She-Hulk vibe. His new partner.
Well, what do you think after he's been with She-Hulk?
He was like, I gotta get out of here.
Oh my gosh, man! Oh, we don't even talk about She-Hulk.
Don't bring her up right now. I'm actually in a good mood.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
For those of you that have seen past episodes where we actually ranked all of the MCU live action shows, we spent a good amount of time on She-Hulk, and we're gonna try not to bring that negativity back to this podcast. But let's move on.
But I mean, it had that feel a little bit, right? Like, it was very bright. A lot of the shows in daytime. I don't know. It was different for me. But I think it's similar to Spider-Man, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, where it's a different animation style. And for some reason, because the animation style is so unique, it took me a little bit for my brain to even just get used to this new way of seeing animation. In a weird way, I kind of feel the same with Daredevil, because there are some changes, but it's still all the same characters and the same story. So it's like, okay, I'm still getting used to this world now, this part of the story. It's almost like reading a new comic run. When you're reading a comic run and then a new writer and artist come on, and there's changes to the art, and it's a new storyline and all that. Sometimes it takes a little bit to like get used to this new iteration. So that's kind of what it feels like to me.
Yeah, I could agree. And especially like with I feel like some of the characters changed too. They don't have the same sort of feel as they did in the first show. Like I know, Zion, you were talking a little bit about Cherry. And how absolutely mid. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, come on. Let's just address it, I guess.
You guys have any thoughts on the supporting cast here?
Nah, you go.
I am not a fan right now of the supporting cast. I get it. We need to add new characters. But I don't know. It's just, I think one of my problems with the show, I like the pace that they're going at because it seems like they're filling in a lot of story. But one of the drawbacks of that is I don't feel like we're fleshing out certain things enough, like characters. So we get introduced in that first scene to like this random cop who's retiring, and then it's like it
Yeah,
was
what
so
was that
random, and
about?
then all of a sudden Matt's new sidekick is this guy Cherry, who's like a retired cop, but he does everything. He's like investigating these people's
He's not
homes, and
retired.
he's
Yeah.
he's calling him at one point like, I need you to be here right now. Like, I'm like, dude, what does Cherry do? I
I don't even
so
know.
I think things like that, it hasn't been fleshed out enough. That wasn't fleshed out enough for me. And then it doesn't really matter, but Fisk campaign, I felt like it was like the show starts with him being like, yeah, I want to be mayor, and then he just won.
He was mayor. Yeah, it was quick. I was gonna say the same thing. It was a little bit
Yeah.
too quick. We didn't get to really like we saw a clip, like one clip of the
Yeah.
debate between him. We didn't really get to see much before he
Yeah.
got elected.
So I would have liked to know a little, even just a few, one or two scenes of the political state of the
Mhm.
city. Give me a little more context to who he's running against or some of the major things that he's running for. Obviously, we heard a lot of anti-vigilante rhetoric coming from him, so that was probably a key point. But I'm sure that's not all that was decided upon. Some of the mayor stuff has been a little clunky to me. Even that scene where he's like, he just gets out. He's like, I need you guys to fix this hole in the bridge. And they're like, sir, we're waiting on the permit. He's like, just do it. And they're like, all right, boys, let's go. I don't think that's how it works.
He doesn't know the first thing about being mayor, bro. He literally said he wanted to be mayor and became mayor 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't know what he's doing.
I just want, let's talk about Kingpin, actually. Let's go through the characters.
Yeah.
Obviously, Matt and Kingpin are kind of our core of the show. So what do you think
Right.
of Fisk right now, his motivation, his characterization?
I think Vanessa is going to be a really big part of this season. Obviously, Kingpin has a weak spot for Vanessa, but I just don't know, because they're trying to work things out in therapy. I don't know if it's one-sided, because if it is, it's definitely Wilson's side. But I don't know where she plays in, because she's taking over the whole criminal thing. But I don't buy that Kingpin has completely dropped that. There's just no way. So I'm thinking to myself, how is she going to play a part in the criminal empire and him wanting to be a part of the criminal empire too, if that makes sense? But I'm waiting patiently, because there's no way he just wants to be mayor just to, get rid of vigilantes. I mean, maybe, but nah.
I feel low-key a little lost with Kingpin, because I didn't watch Echo, and apparently he had some type of character development through that show. So I'm going straight from Daredevil season 3 to this. And it's like it's night and day, but I'm fine with it. I've seen a lot of people complain about his switch up, but I don't think he ain't switched up completely. Like, you can see when that cop was about to retire, he went straight back to blackmailing immediately. Like,
yeah, there's just no way. There's no way. But I will say I like how they did those TV interview things, and there's people that are split on it. Like, that one lady was like, I heard he crushed this guy's skull. Like, what are we doing? And then there's people that are crazy, like, supporting him. Speaks a lot to our current political state in the U.S. today.
It is,
and I'll leave it.
It is very coded to our times. I will say that. This came out at the right time.
Definitely.
Yeah, he does seem very different from how he was before. And in Echo, he was similar. But I don't think there was really too much character development in Echo. Not that I remember.
Not really.
But I think there will be a switch. I think they're purposely making him a lot softer. He almost seems weak right now in a weird way. Like, he doesn't have that presence that he used to have, where when you saw Kingpin on the screen previously, it was like, that is the scariest dude in the room at all times. And this guy's like, he seems very weak. He seems very out of his element. And I think that's just because of everything he's gone through with, everything that happened with Echo and Hawkeye, and like they've alluded to him kind of stepping away from things for a while. So I think they're working towards that character growth to where he's going to come back and like be the Kingpin again. But the Vanessa angle is interesting because it also seems like there's another person in there. Like they mention a guy, Adam, who at first you're like, dude, what are you guys talking about? But then in marriage counseling, Vanessa's mentioning, I was lonely, I was by myself. Like, so it seems like there was some infidelity in the marriage. It seems like she had found a different partner during that time. So I'm interested to see what happens with all this. If they're going to stick together, or maybe they do split, and that's kind of the thing that breaks Fisk once and for all.
Yeah. And on top of that, I'm interested to see how Fisk and Daredevil, their dynamic, because Daredevil's killing people now. I don't know. Like, that's crazy. He's just, and I don't think he's going to stop for now, for the time being, at least.
So did he kill the cop at the end?
There was two of them.
Both of them?
I mean,
they might be alive. This is like some Ben Affleck stuff where he like
bro. This is like some Batfleck stuff. They're gone.
Dude, the second cop, all he did was hit his head into the fridge and then throw him into the ground. He could be alive. But I was writing notes while watching the episode, and I said those dudes might be dead. Like that was brutal. That first guy, bro.
Nah, the dude, he hit his head so hard. There was so much blood on the fridge. They're gone.
They might be.
They're done.
It's true. Yeah, they're probably they're probably gone. But that's the one part. So okay, Matt now, Daredevil. I think overall, he's still the GOAT in terms of casting. But even with Fisk changes, I think the two of them are the strongest part of the show by far.
Mm-hmm.
Like that scene with them in the diner,
incredible,
amazing, loved it, like fantastic. So they continue to remain the same. Obviously, Matt's really going through it right now. He is like at rock bottom. It's different, but it's kind of similar to season 3 in a way, But what do you guys feel about Matt?
I mean, he's like you said, he's the GOAT. Like even if he starts murdering people,
I'm for it.
I said this about Anakin Skywalker before. He starts killing people, he's still my GOAT. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I've honestly, am I wrong for saying I want to see more of this?
I'm not mad at it. I actually, my one thing I didn't like about the first 15 minutes was that Bullseye didn't die. I really wanted him to kill him. I feel like that would have cemented a lot for him.
Honestly, yeah.
And I wouldn't have blamed him for it. Like, that's a big thing. Like, I'm not going to blame Batman.
He's coming back
saw Jason die in front of his face and then chuck Joker off a building. As much as I don't want Batman killing, like, I'm not blaming him for that.
No, it's true.
In terms of Matt, I have strong feelings about this whole show so far. I'm actually hyped because I like this a lot more than the first 3 seasons already.
Really?
Which I watched only a couple months ago, so I don't have any nostalgia based on this. This is purely I just watched these shows.
Yeah.
Matt's been incredible. So after, of course, first 15 minutes, he's done being Daredevil. The scene at the diner, his whole line at the end about like, I grew up in a faith-based whatever, I believe in redemption. So like, I'm gonna give you a shot. He's like, but I also believe in retribution. So like, if you cross the line, I will be back. I will be there. Fire. And then the ending of the show, I was hyped. I was watching it downstairs by myself at like midnight. I was going crazy. When he's walking through the street and there's a girl screaming for help and there's people fighting and he like stops for a second and like he wants to be Daredevil, but then he just like walks through the crowd. Then you have Fisk like up with the thing and it's like they're almost looking down at each other and like Matt looks up. Fire, bro.
Was that at the end of the first episode? I can't remember.
I think that was the end of the first. incredible, bro. Like he's so good. And even the ending when he screams, like it could be because he just murdered people.
Yeah, I was gonna say
But
that's
also like when he was about to get shot, he was like, please don't do this, because he knew he was gonna have to go Daredevil for a second, which is something he doesn't want to go back to.
yeah.
And it's like seeing him fight
He
with
really
that,
doesn't.
so good, bro. This show's fire.
Yeah, he let himself get beat up for so long
Mhm.
before he actually went into Daredevil mode. I was like, man, when is it gonna come out? And I feel like it's one of those things where once he starts, he's not gonna stop. He's not gonna be
Yeah.
able to stop.
Yeah. No, for sure. I'm gonna have to rewatch again because I've had like such a busy 2 days. So like I was like, okay, I need to squeeze it in late at night and like on my phone, and then I had episode 2 going as I'm at work on my phone. So I'm like filling out reports and like in my earphone, like, so I'm gonna go back and
Yeah.
give it a fair chance. But I'm interested. They've set up a lot, and I think there's a lot left to cover in this story. Something's going on with Punisher because those 2 cops that were the bad cops had the Punisher logo tatted on them. So there's something going on there. White Tiger obviously in the story already. There could potentially be other characters that show up. They have confirmed no Spider-Man. He's not allowed to based on Sony. But we even got a Spider-Man reference from Kingpin, which was cool.
Yeah.
Like when he mentioned, you don't want someone in a spider costume saving you. I think if they're going the Devil's Reign direction, and Devil's Reign is a recent comic event where Kingpin became mayor and he outlawed all vigilantes and superheroes in New York. If they're going that direction, I would like to see other heroes and other characters in this show. Or in future shows if they try to continue this on through other storylines.
Like which ones? Or do you have any specifics?
Just
or just
New
like
York-based
generally?
superheroes. I want to see more than just Daredevil if they're going that direction. Because Fisk being mayor has implications for a lot of other characters if they do go that direction. So, number one, I hope this is a long-standing thing. I hope that by the end of this season, Fisk is still mayor. That he's still, this is only the beginning, really. And then I hope that this kind of spreads out to impact more people. I would love to see potentially like heroes being banned in New York, and then seeing how people like Spider-Man or them bringing back the other Defenders. I'd love to see Luke Cage in the show or Jessica Jones. Like, I'm interested to see where they go.
Yeah, me too. I agree. I think that'd be cool if we could see other heroes other than like the main 2 or 3 that are in New York.
Oh, and one other thing that I hope for, I hope they don't erase his faith in the show.
Yeah.
So far that's
a big part of who he is.
So far there really hasn't been any faith elements. Obviously little lines here and there, kind of giving a shout out to the Catholicism. But I at least hope that it becomes more part of the story. Because for me, the best Daredevil stories are the ones where he's wrestling with his faith at the same time. And the original show, I felt, did that really well.
All right, y'all. That wraps up our recap and review of Daredevil Born Again, episodes 1 and 2. Keep watching. We're going to cover it right here on the show. And like always, please leave a comment, like, subscribe, and let us know your thoughts on the first couple episodes and what you're excited to see coming from the show. Anyways, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Later.